Hello, everybody. Good morning, good evening, good
Good
afternoon.
morning.
Today is a very wonderful morning here. And I just took a picture outside my window. I was hoping to upload here, but I couldn't figure out. Sometimes it's tricky to get oh, got it. I sent myself an email, but let me see what's wrong. I didn't get the photo I took. Let's see. Anyway, maybe I just show you on my phone. That's the easiest. Okay. So we may do a landscape to start with the morning. Then we will do some birds. It's not his painting. Lin Fengmian is the artist that we're going to talk about. He's not one of the traditional Chinese classical painting master. So his landscape is not shanshui. Maybe we can call it Western, scenery landscape, that kind of. But he's not a plein air painter. He paints with his imagination or his mind image, like a daydream maybe. So he paints his feelings, mood. And if you have chance to read the article I sent you in the email, okay,
Yes.
yeah, he's an amazing person. He has started his career very early. Had a very early mature, like a prodigy, right? Child prodigy. In his teen age, he went to France to study at age of 19. He was born in the 1900s, so it's easy to calculate, his dates. So he died in 91 at age 92, and he spent 6 years in Europe, study oil painting, but he is more interested in the Fauvist, Matisse, right? You pronounce the name in French. So he's different from his contemporary Chinese student in France, in Europe, like Xu Beihong, his classmate. Studied the salon style classical realism and tried to introduce the realistic technique into traditional Chinese medium. But Lin Fengmian took a very different approach. He learned the Western art from at a spiritual level, and even married two ladies, one German, I think not Austrian, maybe, and another French lady. So he learned more. He's more Westernized, so to speak. Okay, got it. So he's a modernist. He's the first Chinese master to introduce not only the technique, but the concept of modern art from West, Chinese painting, or Chinese Matisse, you may call him. But he has more styles. He's more interested in creating the fusion of Western and East. And he's a very diligent painter. He started as an educator, founder of the two national university. He was the dean of Shanghai. No, sorry, Beijing National Art Academy and Hangzhou. National University, I think. 国立医专. So he was the dean and the teacher of many famous artists, including Wu Guanzhong, Zhao Wuji, Zhu Dequn, Xi Dejing in Taiwan, and Li Keran, to name a few. And he paint with this kind of typical style. There are many fake paintings online, so I try to use my connoisseur eye to determine which one is real or not. You tell me if you think it's not real. Okay, but sometimes, you know, even the fake looks good, so I don't really mind. So let me show you some paintings of him, and we go from there. So this is an early work. I mean, maybe not 40s, maybe. More or less a little
yes.
Chinese.
Ya está.
Okay, let me mute you guys. Let me mute you guys. You can unmute yourself if you need to talk. Okay, and let me focus on my screen. Let me see how to do that. Well, spotlight. Okay, so you can see. And if you compare his horse, I don't know if it's authentic, but it looks like, with Xu Beihong, the famous horse painter, you'll notice the two are very different, right? So this is more abstract. And he painted with gouache. Gouache, yeah, see gouache, opaque watercolor on rice paper. Because he developed this idea in the wartime Chongqing, capital Chongqing, because the supply was cut off. The Shanghai was taken by the Japanese. So it's short of oil paint in a canvas. So he used gouache. It's called poster color in China, and paint on rice paper. This painting, like the 60s or 70s, he did on unsized paper, unsized trend. This is his first team. Okay, so let me ask you which ones you want. Let me ask you this question. You can unmute yourself to answer. What characteristics of his painting can you describe? What you feel technically? Today we concentrate on his technique. The writing I sent is about his spiritual artistic realm. The mood and this kind of experience, his life experience, that kind of thing. But today we concentrate on his technique. So the first thing you might notice is the square form. Just to give you a hint, is new. He exclusively paint on square paper. So here I got square paper. This is early, probably 30, late 30s. 30. So you can cut if you got the rectangular, you can just fold the paper like across diagonally, and then you cut the paper into square. If you cut from a 4 sheet, this is 1/8 of it. 1/8. It's like 13 and a half inch by 13 and a half inch. So if you cut the full sheet, you fold it. So you cut once, it's a large square. This is 1/4 of the half sheet. So you understand?
What kind of paper are we using?
I'm using double Schwan today.
Okay, double. Okay.
You can use single Schwan, unsized, semi-sized, it might be okay. If you only have sized paper, you can also use that. He used opaque paints, just like watercolors sometimes. Maybe, okay, because there are so many fake paintings out there, so I will show you this this official collection published in Hong Kong. To honor the in 1907 when Hong Kong was back to the Chinese control. So he was in Hong Kong till 91. Yeah, he died there. So he was he lived his late years in Hong Kong. That's why they published this book to honor him. So square form, right? I'm sorry, I did change. Okay, here's some pictures. He was in France with his best friends and classmates. That's his last picture. Okay, he was a figure painter, mostly concentrated on the drama, kind of Chinese opera, Peking opera, that kind of theme. This is said to be complex. He had a trauma with loss for his mother at a young age, like 7 or 6. His mother escaped the family and was caught and was tortured, and he tried to save her as a young boy. But they sold her actually. So he always paint this saving mother kind of theme, this woman theme, and he does a lot of autumn landscape, but from his from inspiration of nature, but not exactly copy. You can see this one. It's typical, but you can still see the horizontal dots like me dots, right? But he used opaque color. I just took a picture outside my window this morning. It looks like this, actually. You see? Yeah, I wish you can see that because the winter trees shows only the trunk. I mean, you can see the trunk of this, and then his willow tree compared to Niuning. There's he has an idea that he will never copy the mustard seed garden kind of painting. He did that in his primary school, probably preschool. I think maybe 6 or something like that. And this is his typical theme of a lake with reeds and wild geese. I think I will do one of this today. And this is I'm not sure if it's oil or gouache. Looks like a paper, still Chinese painting. He signed and I'm not sure if this is authentic, but it could be a fake. But it's trying to simulate his early work in traditional painting. And this is probably the same period. It could be authentic. I think it was dedicated to his uncle, according to the inscription. And yeah, given to his uncle. This is a non-traditional painting, right? Pretty abstract. Yeah, this is that you can see the brush he used. It's a soft hair super wash brush like we have it here. Oh, you cannot see my, I'll use it later. Large brush and his birds, his trademark birds. He does on canvas, sometimes vertical like this. You can see the size of the paper he work on. It's about half sheet of the. I like this painting, but it could be a fake. I'm not sure.
Henry,
Yes.
I really appreciate you. I'm so excited because I really like this artist. And I'm so appreciate that you are doing him today. And I love to do some with the birds because it's signature birds.
Okay. Okay. Let's start with that. And do you know? Let me show you. Yeah, my signature, my logo. Can you see my birds on my shirt?
What a
You want to
beautiful
learn?
t-shirt.
Blue heron. Yeah, it's after him.
Can we buy that t-shirt?
Inspired by him, and I have a picture behind me hanging in the frame. Can you see it? Can you see? Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm a big fan of his birds. You can tell. His figure, yeah, this is a close-up of wild geese. You can see the stroke. Okay, just take a note of. I think I sent you, and this is what we are doing, right? Just like, can you see? Yeah, my shirt, right? This is his horse. Yeah, his white ones. So, who was suggesting? Do you want to do the small birds on the branch or the heron?
Either one. Whatever
I'd
you
like
want.
to try. I'd like to try those. Can we do? Well, different people can do different ones.
Yeah, I love this bird too. This is
Okay, let me do the tree branches one. That's easier one.
I'd like the lake with reeds and wild geese at some point.
Okay, I'll do birds today. So not the trees. Yeah, I was planning to do the birds, not the trees, but at the last moment I see the trees outside my window. I thought, oh, okay, maybe everybody liked the trees. So that's why I was asking. We just do the birds, okay? And I'll use ink.
Those, Henry, those are not in the handout, are they?
Yes, it is.
So,
It's a small one, right?
Or a small one.
Henry,
You can enlarge it by viewing the images. If you click on that small, you will get it will make it. You can download that.
Henry,
Yes.
I noticed that his branches, they don't have any wobble to them. They're very smooth. Is that because he's doing a quick brush stroke?
The branches, he does not use the calligraphy kind of bone stroke. Well, it's still bone stroke, but he paints with
Is it a faster
emphasis
stroke?
on the composition, on the division of space, that kind of thing. The line quality is not so important. He has this kind of childish. So that's why this painting is often taught to school kids in the school book. This birds, okay. So it's a good, just like chicks. Okay, we start with this when you learn Chinese brush painting. It's relatively. Should I just okay? Let's just copy this one, all right? First, okay. It reminds me of the Zen painting of the 6 persimmons.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a little bit variety in unity kind of concept. So we'll do the branch first. I don't see any birds in front of the branch, so you can ignore the birds, just divide the space first. and then we'll add the birds with ink and then do some color wash. Okay. He's very sensitive with composition. I mean, so the crossing line, the main branch is kind of diagonal. Another thing you want to notice is that although the painting is a square, but he does not make any corner in the in the line work. You know, everything is rounded, very flow, very round, cursive, right? Let me see what brush I will use. So we can use a small, you know, like a typical calligraphy brush or a stiff hair brush to start with the branch. I like to use a large brush so I don't have to reload too often. Okay, that's good. I don't think he will use color at the on the branch. So, but if you like, you can get a little bit. You know, I just got rouge, not rouge here. It's probably a little bit. You can get some, you know, umber or vermilion. I got vermilion. I think that's okay. And you got palette.
Henry, we only see the sample. We don't see your brush or your desk.
Oh, I see. Okay, let me see. Now you see it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I just use leftover ink. Get some light color. I load the whole brush with this tone. Not any water, so I don't have to reload. Okay, and because this double strand drink takes a lot of ink, I know that, so I would use relatively more ink, but at the beginning you have to paint fast because it smears, and just paint very loosely. You can drag the brush instead of holding the brush straight. Doesn't matter, you know. He does not do. Well, yeah, we do see his painting picture like that. So you just draw some lines and just kind of make some crossing line, but just like I said, don't make any corner kind of crossing. You can, you know, just keep it like very loosely, and the main branch is the darkest, right? And then I just keep doing, and it will get lighter and lighter and drier. Okay, so there's another branch. It's like a photo composition. There are tree outside the branch, right? So you don't have to save any space because he used gouache. Okay, so you don't have to save, but I do see. Okay, yeah, he just painted right across. So the birds was added, I think. You can see the branch goes right in front of the birds, I think, or behind. You just cover it. Yeah. So I'm concentrated on the space division and the composition more than anything else at this point. Just divide the space and have some dense and sparse areas. Just create the negative shape. I see a big hanging one there, almost like a willow. Oops, that's right. That's not good. I'll cover it with birds anyway. And there's almost vertical one there. And some not parallel, but kind of crossing lines. And you can have some loss in the font, I think. Just paint loosely, but with the tip of the brush. It's still, in traditional painting, we call this bone stroke, right? Tip concealed, centered stroke. Yeah, just like that. Okay, that's about it. And then we use dark ink to do the birds. So just use dark. And we do all the bird's head and the wings first, and then we go add the chest, the body. So one bird. There are some groups like communication is important, like personage, you know, like. So we do these two birds is like talking to each other. So you can do, I do this left one or right one first, and just remember the calligraphy drop, kind of like that, and you can dot the eye right away if you want, and then just do. This is a side view, so we do the shoulder. Okay, and then this one to the left is a little lower, and just do it like a half circle thing, and then this little eye. This would look like a female maybe, and you can add dark ink. Don't have to be one stroke. Right? Just one tone. No gradation needed at this point. The light color is added later. So just do this. And there's little tails we will add later. You can do the detail like the mouth, the beak. The beak with a small brush later. Because I'm using a large brush, it's kind of hard for me to do. If you use a medium-sized brush, you can do that with the same brush. Okay, now I leave one space for the birds under it. I think I can put the right branch here. I'll do that later. So I leave a break here, and you can do the bird's tail if you, I mean the wing if you like. And just do, doesn't matter. Feel free to create. Okay, this bird is front. And the last one is like a front view, so we don't have the wing, only the head. But the problem is that this branch should be behind. So I'm going to maybe make it a back view to cover this branch. I have to be creative because this branch is a little bit too dark. So I'll make it a back view. So I'll use the dark. If there's no branch in front of it, I'll use light. So it will be front view. So let's just do this. This is in the front. And looking back, right? Okay, now I'm using a little bit lighter ink to add the little tails under the branch. It's stylized, very, yeah, you don't have to just suggestively. Okay, one more bird is on the bottom here, and this branch is a little bit too slant. Let me see if I can add this branch back here, maybe like that. Okay, this one is a loner, like a alienated, right? Not really a sleepy one. So he's not participating in any of the talks. So he's just sleepy. Okay. Enjoy meditation. Okay. But still, you can see he's maybe hearing the conversation behind him. Okay, I'm going to use a smaller brush, maybe just do a little detail. I think you can use a little medium dark for the beak because it's yellow. It's lighter. It's cute to have that kind of color, tender. So, and I see some kind of hair in like above the nose. That indicated this bird is kind of like a crow, kind of, or the Chinese bagge. I don't know how to say that. It has this kind of characteristic, but it's not really. He's not really interested in depicting specific birds. It's more important to make them look like a person. You know, the expression of the expression of the birds. So, yeah, just maybe, you know, this is a conversation here, and this one is smiling. Yeah, looking back. Okay, and now I just dilute this brush. Let me just take the rest. You can just use a paper towel to dry the brush. So instead of wash the brush, I just dry it, and I just dip in water, and then remember we did Huang Binghong landscape this way, right? You just add water as color, so you get. It's not very light because you want to cover the branches, at least darker than those branches in front of on the paper already. So you want to be very sensitive to tones. That's very important in Western painting, right? So tonality is important. And I see the stroke, it's not just one stroke, but he does this like chest, and then just, because this paper would bleed, so it paint smaller than what I use a little bit peach sap left over here. You don't see that, but there's a little left over. That controls a little bit smearing. So it's an egg-shaped body. Remember, we always say that when we paint birds. And I do like smearing. If not, I just put my brush, you know, on the paper, stay longer and let it smear. I like the soft edge, no hard edge, please. I add a little water to create this kind of smear. You see, I can paint, when the brush is dry, just let it stay on the paper, press on the, and leave, you know. I like this kind of smearing, right? And
Henry, you said that the body is S shape?
no, egg, E-D-E-G-G, egg.
Okay, got it.
Neck, egg, and neck.
Okay, thank you.
Like a, not really round as neck because it has a tail.
Oval, right?
Oval, yeah. Because the bird is from a neck, and it has this kind of cute belly. It stylized again, you know, like a. So, but you can vary the shape. Not every bird is the same. But this one is the back. You don't see the. It's I assume it's a back. It could be front still, you know. Okay, I use a little dark ink to add the feet, and normally we do 3 stroke. I think he just do 1 or 2, you know, just suggestively. But you when you do the feet, you want to make the birds kind of standing, like, you know, gravity is the concern. So it's consider this gravity, so they don't seem falling off. So you want to concentrate on the gravity. So it's on the side of the, okay, one more bird's body here. This one could be darker because in the front. And you can hide the tip like that. You can repeat a little bit so it will smear also. And the tail goes a little bit like that. You can make the wing a little bit longer. So you can change, you know, not like some said, you can never modify a stroke on the rice paper. Yeah, it is true, but not, you cannot erase it, but you can modify a little bit. So that's the idea. Now I'm going to work on the leaves. You can use a soft super wash brush. Let me see. I think I misplaced it. I just use my wrist brush. Okay. And just use number 3 wrist brush. It's a combination brush. Okay. Use gouache. This Japanese color is a little more opaque, so we can use. And I like the yellow ochre here. You can use Maurice. Let me just give you the numbers. You can use gamboge color. Okay, and some. I think the brown is probably vermilion, but you can use the brown. The umber. They dry very fast. 684, or you can use even, you know, red. Just 602, the scarlet, or I don't think there's carmine in there, but there are some indigo or blue. I think I already got on this palette from last class. I'm going to use that. So just blend this two to warm the yellow a little bit. You can add some green. I see green on the bottom too. The opaque green, or, you know. So let's just try. You can try the colors on the corner. I think it's too green. Since his trend in Western painting, you probably will start from the lemon yellow kind of thing. So let's do lemon yellow first, or kind of orange. I'll start right there. try to make the same kind of shape, almost like the bird, but this time the tip pointing down. So let's just do this way. 2 stroke per maybe per leaf, and vary the size, create some kind of a rhythm. More concerned with the dense and the sparse, the negative space, I think. And there's some, oh, this is very loose. It's like leaves behind. So it has little more water. And I added a little ink to the mute it a little bit. And just sometimes you go just with the what appeared on the painting, on the paper. So just you can follow some sequence. Usually works the best. So it changes not only the tone, but also the dry and the wet. The softness of the. Yes, I need some more branches. Let me see. Okay. Don't copy. I think that's the just concentrate on your own painting. I think that's the best way to do it, because he cannot even copy his own painting. So I got some rouge coming out from this palette, so it just adds some red to it. So it always vary a little bit in terms of red, blue, and yellow. So you can break wet into wet, add some contrasting colors, like a purple, kind of green, or blue. I blended on this large brush. So this is like a shady area here. I'm doing, we just add some cooler colors. In Western color theory, they have this cool and warm contrast. So this is, just use a large brush will help, because this paper sucks a lot of paints. You can see how much it takes. And this side is warmer because it's maybe more the lit area. This is against the light. Backlit effect. I was thinking to create some kind of wind direction also. So it's linked to the left a little bit, maybe. But you can decide, you can go like a circle to the chi movement. Just don't point if you don't want to vary, just point all the leaves down instead of giving a direction of the chi flow. You can just make it easy. Just pointing everything downward and just vary the dense and sparse, large and small to create the kind of rhythm. I think I made some mistake. I tried to kind of paint the atmosphere, but there's no atmosphere is in the leaf itself. So the leaf has the light, the air, everything. So you just painted the leaf, not the atmosphere. the air, to indicate the air. So there's a lot of space, just like Chinese painting, the white and painted space. To give the painting breath, right? So this area should be a little darker, I think. And you can see the there are two layers here. I think he did it all in yellow and then added the cool colors and maybe some warm colors to vary it. So the first step is just the yellow and orange, maybe just the yellow, and then you add orange here and there, or even a little rouge or carmine, some cool colors to vary that. And this can be added with dry brush, dry it onto wet, so to avoid bleed too much. Just change the hue. You can also add yellow. See, if the yellow is not saturated enough, now it's time to add some yellow. You don't want to add saturation after you did the veins, but still, I think you can still do that. Yeah, even he added yellow after the veins, it's possible. So you can there's multiple layers of color, I see. Just like transparent watercolor, this is mainly transparent. I don't think it's a gouache, but the yellow is very opaque. You know, you can cover, you can soften the veins. The vein is added when the leaf is still wet, as we always do that in traditional flower and birds painting. So he used flower and birds painting technique to do the landscape or scenery painting. He doesn't really belong to the traditional categories like landscape, mountain and the water kind of, or flower and the birds. He's just paint daily life sceneries from his impression of it, with his impression. Fauvist has this theory that the line is spiritual and their color is very emotional. So it's a combination of rational, spiritual, because line does not exist in nature, right? So it's spiritual and emotional color. Color is very vibrant, right? Matisse, you think about Matisse. I don't think he used dark to get the veins, so it's probably light, and you can always add a little warm color maybe to do the. Let me just add a little bit red. Okay. And I dry it to control the absorbency. So let me try it on this side.
So you add the green as separate layer?
Not like just wet into wet, but not exactly. You have to add in the same kind of stroke, some kind of overlapping, but not repeat the same. Could be smaller or larger than the original, maybe as a little smaller. So it has a yellow ring around it. That's what I see. So it creates this kind of transparency.
Do you add any ink? Because on the left-hand side, it seems very dark, right? Isn't it?
The green does not have to have ink, but now I have ink on the on the brush to do the veins. Okay, I'm gonna do the veins right now. You see the veins is added with dry brush on wet. You can dry the brush, especially the bottom part of that. Now I'm adding this, this you see. And if it's bleed, you can wait a little bit more or dry the brush further, just and paint quickly, skin quickly, and let it bleed a little bit, you know, it's good, yeah. And just try to, let me see, a little bit too dark, does it? Let me just add some brown to it, to dilute it. And let me see. Yeah, if you add a lot of brown, you see if it's too dry, it could be too dry. It's almost out of the tube consistency. So you want to dilute it a little bit. And he does not really care about the botanic, you know, like structure of the leaf. But you have to follow these general principles, you know, like there's main vein and then secondary veins, just like a peony leaves, but he's stylized. You can see 1, 2, 3. That's about it, and then you know, just 2 or 3 on each side. That's could be 5 strokes. Very keep it simple, and it's very important to keep the rhythm, you know, to have the rhythm. You can skip some because some are kind of behind, and the brush gets lighter and lighter, so you do the lighter ones when the brush gets light. When the brush is when the ink is dark, just do the dark ones. And you can paint before the branch, does not matter. You don't have to avoid anything. Like, okay, this kind of too dry, I don't know. So I just wet a little bit. Let's see.
So you have 2 brush, one is green, one is yellow, so to prevent it's too dry.
Sorry, I didn't get your question. 2 brush, just 1 brush. Oh, you mean like I used this original, the leaf brush, the big one. I just, yeah, I can kind of blur it if it's too dry. Yeah, it as long as you know what you are looking for in your mind, it will tell you, your mind will lead you to adjust, you know. So you just go with the flow, I think. With the technique serves the purpose to create this kind of effect. Try not to duplicate each stroke. That's the point, I think. Just do your own, and you'll see some effects better than the original.
Okay, thank you.
And sometimes I see you just do half. You don't have to put secondary veins on both sides. You can do just half, you know, to indicate a side view stroke. You see like that, yeah. And you can do both sides. Sometimes just so I'll just use ink to make it easy, I think. See, it's kind of difficult to handle color at the same time. The stroke, you know, concentrate on the stroke at this point. So I'll just go with one tone. I try not to vary. Okay, just to keep it simple. If you just do this, you'll be fine. And he probably did the whole painting in 15 minutes. That's how much time he will spend. He will do over, you know, like several dozen a day to get a good satisfied result. So it's a number game. it's not controllable because the media it's so difficult sometimes to control. And you can expect something, but not really have the full control of it. You can try to repeat this the process, you know, just do the process of his, and not the exact signature. So if you follow this, speed is very important. When the brush, I mean, when the ink gets dry, the color gets dry, it will be settled. You know, you cannot add any more. So you have to do it fast, like that, just like that. So, and then if you want, you can still use color to add little saturation, like I said, to add some yellow saturation. If it's not, it tends to dry light, just like watercolor. So you can add back some color. Just vary a little bit. Now I try to do make this part a little warmer, this part cooler. So this part with a little more green. Darker too, more shady. All right, don't overwork. That's the most important, and keep the contrast. So that's why there's not much ink in the leaf. I see. Maybe I used it too much. It's a yeah. You see, if I use too much, it's just like you would do with a peony. It's too much. Just make the value a little confused. So you want to have the background as a little ink as possible, maybe just a little bit, you know, to the dark side. Then the birds will stand out with ink only. That's the only part with ink. Yeah. And make it too dark. Let me see. Let me show you the. Whoops. Okay, here's my. There's a yellow beak. You have to wait the ink to dry to add this. I think it's dry enough on mine. So I just add orange, yellow. I add a little amber to the yellow and to warm it up a little bit. Some just light yellow, I think. There's also some yellow color above the eyebrow. I think he used that to maybe to cover the ink. If it's too, you know, you can recover the white, the around the eye. You know, maybe the yellow actually is opaque if you use it purely out of the tube. Yeah, just so everything is done with a random kind of combination of the layers, random stroke. not really depicting exactly the realistic shape like a Xu Hong would, the realistic painter would do. He's not post-impressionist, he's a Fauvist. Fauvist is more abstract, right? Okay. We have some other French, student, Chinese student returned from Europe, like Liu Haisu. He's a post-impressionist. We'll also study him. He founded the modern private art school in Shanghai, and later, after 1949, moved to Nanjing. And Xu Hong was a professor and founder of the National Central University art department. So my teacher was a student of Xu Hong. It has the strong influence in Nanjing, the capital city. His influence is more in the Hangzhou. He was born in Canton, but he doesn't really belongs to the Cantonese school or the Ningnan school, which was founded by two Gao brothers, two Gaos, Gao Qifeng, Gao Qipei. Yeah, they studied from Japan because Japanese, after Meiji Restoration, they had the modern, they had students from France and returned from France and founded the Western style schools, and Chinese students like Gao Qifeng brothers studied in Japan and then tried to paint with Western shading and lighting effect. In Japan, they call it Nihonga. It's in contrary to the traditional brush painting, Nanga, that kind of Chinese influenced traditional painting. So in China, we call that Ningnan school, influenced by Nihonga or Japanese painting. We'll also talk about that later, okay? And I'm going to sign later after it dries. Maybe here too. Any questions on this assignment? We can do the water birds next, okay? Have you finished it? Let me see how you're doing. Let's see if I can turn the gallery.
Not finished yet, but whatever it is.
Okay, do you need more time or should we move on?
Mine is all wet still, but I did.
Yeah, just you have to wait. Yeah, we can work on several paintings together. I still have to wait for to sign. So let me. Yeah, it's good to paint several paintings at the same time. Probably he did that. Fengmian will do that. Yeah, so you don't have to use a dryer to do. Okay, so next, let me find inspiration. By the way, did you record this painting by Muxi? He probably did after Muxi. It was said he never copied, but this one looks like he does maybe some Bada Shanren too. That's a single bird. Okay. I tried to find this flying geese with a reed. This is a long one, I think.
Yes, please.
You want to do the white cranes? This one? This one?
Flying geese with the reeds.
The crane.
Yeah. Okay. Let me show you the. Yeah, this one. This one. Okay. Yeah. On my book, there's one. I trust this book for the authenticity, because sometimes online there are so many. This one, if you compare this to it's pretty much the same. So he repeats a lot. One of the reasons is he gave this as a gift. You know, maybe it's a gift painting kind of theme. So he also need to practice a lot to get this. It's very difficult to do. With his Western training, he probably would consider the shape first, you know, like triangles. Even you can do a rectangular to frame the head and the body. Let me show you. You can use a piece of any paper to practice a little bit. Let me just show you what I would consider. So if you draw with a pencil something, 2 squares, maybe something like that, roughly, and then you kind of paint the head within this square, and then so you at least give you some kind of control on the space arrangement. You don't run out of space for the legs, you know, that kind of. So I often end up no space for the feet. So I think the solution to that is to draw a box maybe under the paper or something. His beak. So I tend to draw the beak large. This one is even larger than what I do. I don't know if it's a. Let me see. I think the authentic one does not look so big. I'm not sure about this one, but it could be. You see this beak. I mean, this feet looks correct. All right. Doesn't matter, you know. So you can draw some control shape. It could be a triangle also, if it's more convenient. Do another one. Just practice. Just give you a sense of proportion, you know, that kind of thing. You want to practice a little bit of this. If you draw a triangle, it would be, I think it's more like this. The shape, you see, this basically a triangle, not you know, it this kind of shape. Okay, and then this front is upside down triangle. Okay, like that. All right, and we can do. We just run it up like that, and run it like that, and then add the leg and the wings. Yeah, you have to use this kind of control, otherwise you will waste 100 pieces still, because the basic proportion you have to use a Western approach. I think it's easier. As I mentioned earlier, you want to control the gravity of the birds. Yeah, and use tail and the wings to balance. Do you get the idea? And after you do this practice, my mind is trained to draw better, you know. So I can do without this shape. But at first, I need this help lines. Well, let's draw the control line with a charcoal, maybe. if that helps. Or you can use pencil also. The idea is to control the size of the bird, so you don't end up with no space for the leg. So the leg is should be half, but he shortened it, right? So the whole thing is you can draw the whole thing like this, a big shape. Just think you wrap it up with a piece of silk or something, just like a sculpture, you know, you wrap it up like a car wrap, you just wrap it and it will become a box kind of. And then within that, you draw those shapes. Like I did, you know, this triangular shape. This you don't have to draw the whole thing, just the key. You don't have to draw all the sides of the triangle or the box, just the key points, control points. The feet, that's the point. Usually you need to decide which one is in the front. So this left leg is in the front, the right is behind. So that's very important, which one is behind. You don't want to make a mistake on that. So this painting might be interesting, okay. But sometimes he does not care. Let me see this one here. You see looks like this one goes behind. It should be in the front. So this one is front, that one is behind. We can look at here. And it's not in one stroke, two strokes for one leg and then one for the thigh. This is chest and neck and then the back. And okay. I'll just dust it off. Sometimes I like to draw without these lines, because when I have these lines, it's all dead, not live. But it's good to have some, you know, you can use it. My teacher, when he does the crane painting, oh, by the way, let me show you if I can show you this. Can you see that? I have two cranes on my wall. See that? See the small picture? Yeah, I had this cranes in front of me. That's my teacher would draw this with like a fingernail marks. He would do this thing. Imagine, you know, as if he sees the painting on the paper. So just imagine all the. Okay. And I use a small liner. You can use a red whisker brush or small whistle brush in the 3 basic, I think. Let me see if I still have the.
Henry, what kind of paper?
The same paper, double shine. Double shine. I use
Unsized, right?
Unsized.
Yeah, I don't have a double shine.
Oh, you can use a single shine. No problem. Okay. Single
Thank you.
Okay, I just got some light ink with this red whisker brush. See if I can draw this. And I hold the brush high so I can draw a longer line. My arm is above the table, not so I can draw longer lines. Okay, I'm gonna draw. I think the chest, this curve is relatively easy, so I'm going to draw a big C shape of this this line goes there. And then when top, try to, now I'm concerned with the shape of the thickness of the neck, and then back is much thicker. See this triangle, right? Okay, and then the brushes gets dry too fast because this paper drink a lot of ink. A lot of ink. Takes a lot of ink. My teacher complains this paper. He does not use double shuan because he said it's the mother of the emperor. In emperor's daughter, 慈禧太后, right? Mothers of emperor in Chinese is 太后. In Chinese sounds the same as too thick. 太后. Ping, do you get my joke?
No, I don't think.
Yeah,
Yes.
he doesn't like Tai Ho, right?
太后, yeah. He
The
says this
mother.
paper is the mother of emperor. Emperor's mother. Too thick. Yeah.
Okay, I use single xuan.
Yeah, single.
I don't have double xuan. I don't have Tai Ho to worry about.
Okay. You can do the leg or the wing. I'll do the wing right now. So this one bent forward and then up like that. So he's very controlled, like Chibeshi, not very spontaneous, but spontaneous means just one stroke, but all the strokes are calculated precisely. And then there's tail that goes, this is the tail. And, this will be covered, so you don't have to define details on that. So now I'm going to do the thigh. It's right exaggerated because it's so powerful. Yeah, just another curve kind of like that. So there's no angle. Like here is a little bit angle. That's the only, oh, this is too thick. Because I was thinking that he did the thigh, upper leg inside this. I leave the space, but the space is too wide. What can I do? Maybe I'll do another one. Correct that. Anyway, that's a mistake. Don't copy me on that. And just a small triangle here. Okay, now I will use a stiff brush, just like a calligraphy, general one's brush, or you can use the basic brush or bamboo brush, or you can use this Bruhan Arts mustards. Probably this is too short because this paper does not, takes a lot of ink, so a larger brush give you better stroke. Needs a bit more ink because it takes so much ink. I use blue ink, Japanese blue ink. Oops, I got some dots on the paper already. Some from the bottom. So it's just pure ink, dark ink. Calligraphy, bone stroke. Okay, so you see the bending direction. You do not want to make any mistake bending the other way. I see a lot of students in my first class, they always bend the leg wrong. And this pretty much straight, but a little bit forward. So this angle I'm talking about. And you can do the class later. And I want to do this. This is more like a walking. Okay, and then use, just take advantage of the point and just draw thin line, very thin lines, because in the perspective it's flattened, foreshortened or something. He does this, let me see. Yeah, very loosely, just like that. But he kind of tend to press at the end a little bit, so that meets the bone leg. It's just like that. And just very casual, very one, okay, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and tail. I just use the same brush, but it could be a larger brush. I think I'm changing too much brush. Try not to do that, but that's the problem. Okay, you can use a flat brush. I think he probably used one of these. I flattened my brush a little bit. This is a deer wolf brush. It's a soft, kind of stiff brush, and you can see. You can use a soft brush if you like. Actually, I see a lot of lines still as preparation. You can draw this before you do the. I forgot this. It's about 7, 8, maybe some kind of light ink, and then their stroke, just like flying feather and primary flying with like an eagle, eagle. But the cranes has this kind of shorter hair, not shorter feather, not so large. I think that's, and you can vary the size. This is like side view. This is a little thicker than this. Anyway, so some goes downward gradually, just like that. So I concentrate more on the shape of the black as a whole, not to leave each individual strokes too much. So this form a shape like triangular too, I think. Okay, now the last part is the tail. 2 large strokes, 3 maybe, and then smaller ones. Don't have to count them, but that's the idea. Okay. Now I'll change back to the small brush to do the beak. I think he did the beak with light ink and then accented it with dark later for some reason. So we just did this with the yellow. And this is very bony because the nature of the beak, you have to do this in bone stroke. And it's kind of hard to tell if it's the perspective is from top view. So this is opening on the bottom. I think it mostly just you see the top of the beak. Maybe that was okay. And then there's a crown that's just like a straight line, abstract, and the eye is a little dash. Yeah, my is a little different than I realized. The maybe it could be a longer head, but cannot change that. I think this part is too. Okay. just let it meet there. Okay, now the background. You can use leftover ink. Just now everything is lighter than this, right? You can do the, yes, I think the ink still comes first, and then you have to wait it to dry to do the this is pretty much like a drawing, so we can use a drawing brush, maybe then do the wash. So I'll just use this outline brush, this Renbo outline brush I specially made. It's a mixture of soft hair in the center and the stiff hair outside. So we just use a little bit gray. Actually, the blue
Henry,
is,
the feather is with a center stroke or side stroke? Center stroke.
center stroke. Yeah, good question. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. And you can use a little dark. Okay, I'm going to draw this reeds. Basically, they're just lines, vertical lines, but it has wind. Usually, the birds is facing the wind. Okay, even in the sky, birds does not like to be driven by the wind. We have a joke that when you say goodbye to someone who bought airplane, you don't want to say 一路顺风 because in the past 一路顺风 follow the wind is the when you travel by ship, by boat, by sailing boat, but when you fly, you want against the wind, right? So the wind is in the wind direction is very important here. And then you can add these lines later as you do actually. So and then add this. I think we learned this from early class, one of the class last year, right? The reeds. When we learned the white geese class, if you review that, the mushi, the Zen painting style, yeah. So remember the difference between the reeds and bamboo is this: they don't, especially in the wind, right? The leaf is on one side. In this case, on the right side. And you can vary the distance a little bit. There's a what do you call this, flag, right? Reed flag. You can use anyway. I just see a big leaf there. So it could be a flag on top, right? And you can just vary the size and the distance a little bit. So it's basically on one side of the vertical. And because the perspective, it get a little smaller here and a little softer, maybe. So even before you wash, you need to think about area perspective. I mean, atmospheric perspective, because the fog, they're blurry. You can just paint more lost, soft, and dry strokes, basically dry or wet. We don't paint, in this case, dry, yeah. And then we use wet to soften. Just dry dry is softer than solid stroke, right? And this area is closer. So we have, and we kind of frame it. So this area leads the eye in. This one stop the eye maybe. So we have some vertical, some horizontal lines. See, oh, you know, see, he just paints sometimes just like this randomly to do the wave of ripples, yeah, and then just draw with the side of the brush, just wash out the brush like we did with the landscape painting last class. Just clean the brush and just kind of, yeah, it takes too much water, so I will change it to the brush to make it easier. Oops, I got some red in there. That's good. Just a little bit color accent, and then we'll do the blue or indigo. Yeah. So just some sandy bank, horizontal, and then we'll do the vertical for the reflections, right? And just vary the distance a little bit, and the length of the lines to create some rhythm. This bank behind this front, so you can just add a little bit dark there. This is the front, and some wet into wet could still be good. Okay, you can wet it dry a little bit to do the color wash, but at this point I'm going to continue, see what happens. I just draw some verticals with dry brush, just atmospheric. And I see this kind of thing and continue all the way to the sky. So there could be clouds. And he likes this kind of diffused weather, diffused light, you know, the cloudy weather. So we're going to draw some ink. You see, be careful not to touch the, sometimes you want the painting to kind of just go crossing some of the lines. And I just use a little water, just goes this direction. So some overlapping create a little depth there. And this line should be kind of horizontal basically. And this shading can kind of frame the birds. You see, I try to. Okay, now I have to mention this another characteristic of his style. He paint backgrounds, unlike the traditional painting. We do see, you know, painter like Shitao already did sky or the Four Monks, right? The Four Monks, we did the sky also. So it's not the first, but he always paints the sky with color and leave no, just the white for the birds, for the crane. Yeah, in this case, and you have to kind of squeeze foil out the white. So I use some dry brush stroke to prepare for the wash, just like that, to and some verticals, reflection. Okay, and you can keep working just the areas. Oops, I shouldn't do this. now all the I lose all the clean water. I should have one cell clean. This is the only brush clean, so I'm going to use this one anyway. He will use the flat brush, I think. Oh, it got blurred. That's okay. I have to, and then just use the rest of it to add a yellow. Actually, it's a little bit brown in it, I think. Okay, if the ink is not dry, you'll see blurry. But sometimes it's okay as long to the extent that not to let me see. Sometimes if you just wet the whole thing, it will not bleed to, the water tends to bleed towards the area it's drier. So if you want to keep the white, you put the water inside the bird that will contain it from driving into the area. So I'm doing this yellow wash with a very light, very light yellow, just to eliminate the white paper a little bit, to squeeze out the white. Oops. Because it's blurred here, so I want to have the yellow just stop that blur. That's okay. I'm going to use a little brown, and then after it dries, with a little dark accent to the tip of the beak. That will be the last touch. I'm going to just add a little more yellow. I think the yellow it's more for the vegetation part. So the sky should have some purple, I think. Could be. I cannot tell what is exactly, but we can just have some blue mixed with indigo. I mean, indigo with umber. That would be great. Okay, maybe. Yeah, for the clouds, I think this would be fine for the clouds, and then we'll do some fresh colors. Yeah, I try to just harmonize the whole thing in the tone of green, blue, kind of. You can have a little bit more color here in the sky. But don't lose all the white. Sometimes. Besides this crayon, you can have a little bit white in the clouds also, and this water definitely you need some more indigo. Just paint vertically, maybe some grays, whatever, some ink and the indigo to darken the shady part. Okay, that's about it. I'm not sure if he has any color theoretically it should be some kind of yellow occurred in the for the white, right? But he probably just leave it pure because it's a symbol of the purity. Okay, just leave that. Let me see how this one goes, and we'll sign this one and see if we have time for another one. Yes, maybe we can still squeeze in another one. So let's just keep working on the blue herring maybe. Incidentally, this is my practice yesterday, last night. Let's see. This is my. You can color it after the ink dries. I didn't copy. I just paint from memory. Now I'm going to do the blue herring. Should I do this flying one? Okay. It reads. Let's just do this one first. Okay, I got all the colors here. I got a mixture of everything on my palette. You can see got the blue, carmine, some green, whatever. Just mix gray, blue, bluish gray. You can get some mineral blue as well. Just clean my palette basically and get some ink. And I'll do this main frame right here. So this time I just, because the leg is hidden, it's outside the picture maybe. Yeah, it's hidden in the reeds, so I don't need to worry about that. So just do a big birds like that, and then just continue with the rest. And this thing one. Okay. Okay. That's my trademark. My logo. Okay, this one I just do. It just happened to me. I have the right ink. Maybe I just do this head first, and it gives me a continuity. Just like that, and then just continue to exhaust my brush. Okay, I think it's a back view. It's all back view, so I need to. It could be. I changed that. It could be front view. Oh, you don't have to define even back or front. It's a silhouette. Yeah. Okay. And I just use ink to break in. This is too smooth. What we do is just add. Oops. That's a red. That's good. Red, blue, and the yellow, right? Okay. I just add some tail stroke there. Yeah, this has to be dry and wet, so you don't have the blur you don't want. Okay, now just continue with you can use the same brush. This brush is number 1 wrist brush. It's sharp, like a razor sharp. It could be detailed. Let's see. I do this beak with the eye first, just like one stroke, and just like it just stop, make an eye in the end. See how sharp this brush is? You don't have to change the brush. See how razor sharp. Right, that's the eye. And this was and this one, it's hidden. It's like sleeping. So it just, oops. I don't know. It just like that. Okay.
Henry, we're unable to see you working on this farther one. Thank you. Thank you.
You have to go. You have to have that that sound, make a stroke. Okay. If it's too wet, you wait it to dry. I think he did ink and then add the blue glaze on it. But I just did everything in one stroke because I don't have time to do 2 layers. Okay, just use the tip of the brush. See the bending direction still counts, right? So this one, you have to think the gravity is right here. Okay, that's the, and here's one. Yeah, I think my student always have trouble with this legs. One is the direction of the bending. You don't want to bend this way, inward, outward, and just, yeah, just like that. Yeah, on our logo, I do this like an edge. Imagine there's a line in between the 2 joints. So this is an edge. It's an edge. Yeah. Blue BH. You can draw the crayon with 2 letters. BH. That's our logo. It's a herring of it doesn't matter. Egret. That's the bird's name. Okay, so I'm going to just continue with the brush. You can consider this the reeds, or you can draw this cat tails if you want. But this reeds, more like a bamboo leaf. Right? I think we just do this. Okay, you start from dark and then light horizontal lines, I think, washes. Just fill in the space between the birds. Somewhere you need to indicate save the leg, so you don't confuse. It doesn't matter. Just if you cover it, it will still stand there. Okay, so I'm going to draw this closest part, the larger strokes. So the wind goes this direction, basically from left to right. Oh, the verticals should, anyway, not much verticals. Here are some direction change is needed to balance. Okay, I'm going to wash the brush and change to kind of blue gray. Okay. You can mix the indigo a little bit to get the background color. Just draw this kind of, I don't know, it's water or sand. It could be both. So just draw some horizontal stripes. Oops, got some too much red in there. So I'm going to wash the background like that. Just fill in the space there. It could blur the legs. Who cares? Just let it go. Okay. It will still there. The stroke will stay, especially if you use overnight ink. It will stay. Okay. I'm going to continue all the way to the top with this purplish gray. I think I got phthalo blue here. Nice. Okay, I just draw. Okay, very moody color. Don't have to copy exactly. It's just some. There's some. Okay, this. I think the crown is. Yeah, this. So we probably have to wait until it dries, but let me try. Let me wet the area here. Okay. See a very subtle red, pink color. Yeah. Okay, I think that's it. You see the whole thing? Now you can see it. Huh? Oops. I think I'm overworking. I just enjoy this kind of wash. It's very different than what we have learned in this class. It's very different. Okay. Any comments, questions? We have 5 minutes. Okay. See if we can just do a quick, maybe single flying geese. You can do 2 or 3. We have all the samples with the handout. So let's just do this.
Henry, I have a question.
Yeah.
It's easy. There's a piece he did with multiple white cranes where it seems like with the background wash, he was just really free and creative and kind of almost joined the background wash with they look like feathers or something. It's very unusual. And it has the white edges on each stroke. I guess that's like the red star paper makes that little edge.
Yeah. Let's see which one you're talking about. I'm trying to find that one. There's one single bird, right?
No, it's got 4 birds, and the background wash is like it's almost incorporated with the birds, like it looks like feathers. It's 1, 2, 3. Sorry, there are 5 birds.
5 birds.
They're white ones. I don't want to interrupt what you're doing, though. I'm sorry, but
let me see. I think, oh, here one, it's a 6 or 7. Is this one? This is a good one. You can enlarge it. This is a very high resolution one. See? But I'm not sure if it's authentic or not. Yeah, I just do this one. Just maybe partially, just to show you the process. We can just do 2 or 3. It doesn't matter. You can make it. You can just concentrate on the 2 or 3, whatever. So I'm going to do this one right now to finish the lesson. Just do a bunch of reads. Okay, it's maybe 2 or 3 rows. Okay, and some long, so they overlap. They don't really have a space. There's a white in between, but basically, yeah, you don't have to. Let me see. There's dark here. So this is the dark area. So we can do abstract. You know, you don't have to do so much. You can just do. It depends on your time. You can just do very loosely, but some dense, some sparse. You got the idea. On one side, right? Just like that, and feel the wind. Oh, yeah. See that the mood of the maybe the evening or.
Henry, do we have the sample? Which
Yeah, you have this sample definitely. Yeah, you have this sample. It's in the attachment. There's 3 ways you can get. Just click on the small thumbnail; it will enlarge, or you can. There's attachment, and also the small one in the go with the text. Okay, so I'm going to just use the flat brush this time, and you want to see the sample? Oh, I see what you mean. Now you have the sample of what I'm doing, right? Okay. Sorry about the.
That's okay.
I didn't realize that. Okay, sorry. Okay, now you see, I just use horizontal stroke to break the vertical, and just I got some dots from maybe the wet pad already there, and just. Yeah, you can do it all wet into wet, wet into wet. But start with dark and dry. That's different than the watercolor. His student Wu Guanzhong is good to use atmospheric wash or light ink, and he always save his dishwashing color. He said that's the best gray you can get. That's the best gray color. Okay, let me just do some more birds. So you see the birds has this kind of horizontal dot, right? And then tail and this left the right wing has this kind of overlapping. Sometimes it has a little kind of hole there, and there's a little hole on the front also. So just like he even dotted the eye, but I don't have room for that. You can dot the eye on this one. Not everyone. You don't have to do every piece. And very distant. This one it should be closer, and so this one's behind, right? And so you can kind of omit one wing or something. There's maybe there's a suggestion of tail and the banded feet. I don't think, yeah, just the one dot. And so, yeah, just a suggestion. So this one a little loose than this one. That's 3. That's probably enough. 3 is a good number, or you can do 5. You do 2 more. So I think I just leave it like that. I'm out of time already. So I'm going to wash the top. This the heel, right? Let me just. So that's a distant. Same kind of theme like Niyu Taihu, painter, but very different than traditional. So we'll just add a little bit ink to the tip of the brush. You can just add a little more indigo, maybe. Oh, I got some purple there. I like that red. Maybe it's good, warm color. So you want to let's see, to create a. Still, there's a peak, right? So it's not a flat one. So just go up and then down, and just go back and forth until you exhaust it. So you got a gradation from dark to light, from wet to dry. So you leave it like a cloud, a band or something, and you just do. I think the birds should be dry when you do this, but it's okay. I just leave it like that. So I shake my hand a little bit to create this kind of texture. I don't know what's that. So this is like the gesture, the movement wash. Yeah, you can fill in more space with the wet wash later to make it even more subtle. But at this point, I'll just stop there. You can make the white with more subtle colors. And let's just do that. There's some color on the top, right? It's kind of gray, blue, just without much ink, I think. Just have fun. Yeah, the paper will record every stroke, so you have to be bold, very bold, no hesitation. I mean, you have to do it without hesitation on this kind of paper.
So Henry, what brush you're using?
Oh, I use the wrist brush number 3.
Okay, let me get that one. I see you use it all the time, right?
Yeah, I use this in plein air painting also. It's just so fast. It has all the moisture. I don't have to reload often. Yeah, it's good.
So it's a soft brush, or it is?
It's a combination. It's a combination of stiff and soft. This one is stiffer. It has a hog hair in it. It's number 1, and there's a number 3, which is a pure stiff. It's also good, but the different handle. This two has the wood hand. The other one has the horn handle. Yeah, get this brush in the. It does good job.
So if I just get one, number 3 will be good, right? Is that it?
Number one.
Number one is
number 3. Yeah, I think it's really a personal favorite. This is stiffer. So the original one is number 1. Then I ordered the other 2.
Okay. Number 3 is softer.
Number 3 is stiffer.
It's stiffer.
It's pure stiff. Yeah. Pure
Okay.
stiff. This is mixed. This is also stiff. Number 1 is very stiff too. Yeah, see. I hope this will dry lighter. It got too dark. I mean, well, it looks good on the video. Does it? Okay, good.
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay, yeah. So you got the mood. It's very cloudy day, that kind of mood, but still have. That's the historian's interpretation. You know, has a hope, and you know, the birds is like the spirit. It's inner landscape. You know, imaginary landscape. It has this kind of unnatural, yeah, right? But you don't have to go to the lake to find them. If you're lucky, like a Susan, maybe you can find something like this in your lake. I think you just returned from lake, right, Susan Mary? This is for you. And you can add more dark after this. I see you know, some really darkest dark there, and you can, if you like, you can draw just with overnight ink, because it would on wet surface, the overnight ink tends to keep the stroke while it blurs the water, you know, bleed. So that's why we use that instead of fresh ink. Overnight ink is advantageous to paint wet on wet, wet into wet sometimes. And if you see something you want to fix before it blurred, you know, further, you can use an iron or a hair dryer to do that. So you just kind of set it. And this is a good brush, the combination brush with a stiff hair on the outside. Usually stiff hair inside. It's very soft liner, good, very flexible shape. It's good size too. Okay. Okay, let me see. He usually just sign a short signature without a poetic title, but his painting is a poetry. It's a poem, very poetic itself. He usually just sign with the name. This is the case I'll do. Let me sign all my paintings, and if you if you have something else you can leave, I will send you the finished work in email. And if you like, you can share. If you need help, actually, yeah, you can just hold your painting in front of the camera to show me, or send to the website. Show me the color review. Okay, I see Lisa Curry. Okay, Lisa Curry. Okay, good. Yeah, the last painting doing, huh? Yeah, that's nice. Nice, very nice. Nice flying geese. The weeds need to be a little. The leaf should be a little larger than bamboo, but just paint a little larger. Yeah.
Great.
The reeds. The
Right.
the reeds, not the weeds. Reeds. Yeah. Just remember the leaf. We use that to wrap the rice cake. You know, it's very large.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, got that? Because you know how big the rice dumpling is.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, when you open that, you'll see the whole reed leaf. Yeah, just paint large. Okay, thank you. And okay, I see someone here. Emily, very nice crane, walking crane. The reeds could be a little larger,
Okay.
but this distance fine. The front one could be a little stronger.
Okay.
To yeah. Yeah, if you like, you can just leave that as is. It looks like the birds it's in the front, the reeds is behind. But the reeds, yeah, the reeds could be more defined. Yeah.
I agree.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, very good. Okay. Oh, let me see. Let me take a look at others before I go back to your birds, Emily. Just later. I'll go back to you. Oh, you can do actually two together. Let me see. I just do one at a time. This is Daisy. Daisy, your tail is a little bit too long, like a peacock. So yeah, you have to do a little more drawing. Okay. Otherwise, it's good ink and a good stroke. Just the basic shape. You need to control that. Okay. And okay, let me see. Stephany, I'm going to focus on you. Stephany is a crane, very good proportionally, very good. Yeah, the wings are very authentic. The tail could be a little simple, and it looks like a little too heavy because the stroke merged together. It could be just like the same as the wings. Yeah, if you add a little dark, maybe define it, it will help. Thank you, Stephany. Anybody else? Oh, okay. Emily, how to pronounce?
Can you see it?
Okay, I see yours, Emily. Liu. You using watercolor paper? Or
Yes, I
mulberry?
did. Yes.
Mulberry?
No, just this is khadi paper. Khadi.
Khadi paper.
Indian paper.
Oh, Indian paper. Oh, interesting. I don't know that. That looks good. Looks
Thank you.
like a watercolor paper, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, it's absorbent watercolor paper. Very
Yeah.
nice. Thank you for showing us.
It's my crane.
Okay, now who else? Okay, I go back to Ping Huang. Ping Huang. Oh, I like your birds. Looking nice. It's like a swallow's tail. I mean the wings. The sharp wings could be a little duller, not too sharp. You know, just have some split brush maybe. This wing and look. The end of the point. The point is a little too pointy. Maybe a little wrong. You know, a little split brush like the ones on the left side. It would be good. Just add yeah, just one of that. Maybe a little softer. It would be fine. I like the contrast of the whole painting. The birds really stand out from the leaf. Yeah, that's very good.
Now I should use the dry brush to make it the wing a little bit down.
Just a little bit, but not too much. Yeah, just blur a little bit. That's it. Just because the it's like very sharp.
Okay,
That pops too much. Yeah, I think.
got it. How about this one?
Yeah, that's good proportion. You have good drawing. Very good gesture drawing. The
Okay.
leg, the lower leg could be a little longer. Could be a little longer next time. But the upper body is perfect. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I'm still afraid to paint the sky. I think the color will go
just wait
into the frame.
do the ink work and then wet it dry and then wet the whole thing to wash it, wet on wet. It will be fine.
Okay, use the clean water, right?
Yeah, you can spray clean water to after the ink dries. The leg part you can paint some stuff, some lines to hide the feet, you know, to confuse the feet a little bit, so it will feel not so short. You can add some strokes like let me show you on my table. You can see just some random strokes.
I cannot see you, Henry.
Okay, let me change that.
Okay.
Let me focus on me again. Okay, yeah, see the strokes here. You can extend, you know, just so the leg looks like just like the background reads or something. Yeah, I think his leg is not so long. Basically, he to fit this frame, he had to shorten the leg from life. So it's not a problem because after all, it's a expressionistic painting.
Okay, to paint the sky, I should use the water for the entire painting, and then just paint the sky part. So the color will not go to crane, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, you have to save the crane. That's the whole thing. But you have to wet the crane as well. If you wet the whole paper, make sure you wet the crane the wettest. I mean the most water. So if it's not the dry area where the ink will come in, so you want to wet the crane as well. Yeah.
Entire paper, and
Yeah,
then
let me do this to show you if you want. I have this paper which is dry, okay, and I'm going to
put you on spot. How do I put you on spot?
Let me stop ping you. Okay, let's say if you want to wash, I just wet the whole thing like this. I use a sprayer, and the other part maybe just a mist. But here I want a solid wet in the crane area, so the color will not come in like a. Okay, now I'm going to wash the sky, everything. So you might want to do the yellow first, and then blue. You know, just okay, now blue sky, but you don't have to paint like blue sky. They're clouds, you know. They're not the sky blue cloud kind of. And you can leave some white stripes. And you can have some purple, some reddish. See, I just paint up to the white. Okay, I just fill all the space. In Western painting, you might paint this area shady part, and you can do something like that. You can still do that if you want. Okay, now I just add a little orange color maybe in the sky. Just vary a little bit there. And that's it. That's about the sky. And if you want to, I can continue the bottom part to show you. So this painting was dry, right? This is dry. So I spread a little bit mist, not too much. And you can use green also. Just oops. My table is too small for this. I have to be careful with that. Okay. You can see I got some green color for that, and we just use the Japanese color here. Basically, I want the color to go horizontal, so not really color according to the local color. I just created atmosphere. Atmosphere is the idea of this. And you just go horizontal. But it's a okay. Do some. Oops, that's too. I got some red there. So my leg maybe is also too small, so I just kind of hide it. So yeah, you don't really emphasize on that. So people will not really notice that. Okay. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it will dry.
Yes.
It will dry lighter. It will dry lighter. So
So we do not use the clear ink, right? We just use water here.
I watered the whole thing. If the ink start to bleed in, you can add more water. I don't have clean water. I just use bottle. So you can brush more water to dry back the color. See, I just spray some. So I just keep the white area wet. That will prevent the color from bleeding in.
Thank you.
Manage if this area is dry, the color will come in.
Mm-hmm. Okay, got it. I will try that. That's great.
Okay.
Did you
So
want to?
sorry, go ahead.
Any other questions? Oh,
I think
Peter.
want to show his.
I want to see Peter's birds now.
Today I was just fairly gestural. Was just trying to get the
Crows,
flow of it.
Oh yeah.
I didn't spend a lot of time, obviously.
I like the sparkles you got on the paper, huh?
Yeah, this is that mulberry paper I got from you.
Oh yeah, you got from us. Yeah, I see. The color mulberry. Yeah.
This is a mulberry paper.
Yeah, mulberry paper is semi-sized. It's
yeah, that's right. I like it because it's a little bit sized, but then again, it's a little bit absorbent too.
Yeah, it's more forgiving.
This one was wet, so I didn't have a chance to do. I did the background before I had a chance to do those plants in the background.
Yeah,
it was too wet, so
I see. Yeah, you can wait to dry it.
I did the opposite of you. I did the washes first, and I was going to put the plants in.
Yeah, you can do that. Foot washer also does that on mulberry paper. He will wash the atmosphere.
I love this one.
Yeah, I like that one too. Yeah.
But they're all very gestural. But I felt like I was I understood. To me, the guy was using quick brush strokes, and I've been focusing on slow brush strokes. So.
Oh yes, that's the opposite. Yeah, so he does quick stroke and a lot of try and error. Just like a game of chance. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway.
Thank you for sharing.
Henry, I just want to show you one more.
Oh, sure. Let me see.
Your last one, very quick.
Oh, that's a framed?
It's my sketchbook.
Oh.
Chinese sketchbook.
Interesting. It has the border.
Well, I did the border.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
So-
no, it comes in like this, right?
Oh, I see. The
I just border it. Yeah.
interesting. Oh, you just did it. It looks so finished. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
I have so
Yeah.
much fun. Thank you so much. I love this this lesson.
Thank you. Yeah, I think you have more fun in the future. It's getting modernism.
Yeah, I like the modernism more than the old school.
Modernism is what we are getting in the 20th century. So he was born in 1900. Yeah, so he belongs to the 20th century.
They call it 林風眠，對唔對？
Ren Fengmian, yeah, in Hong Kong, maybe that's the
I like his style a lot.
Lin Fengmian, yeah, he has some paintings in Hong Kong Museum. If you go back to Hong Kong.
Yeah, I am familiar with him. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at his bio I sent you. It's very
Yes, I can.
long
I read
story.
everything.
Long story. Yeah, he flashed all his best works into the toilet before he left for Hong Kong.
Oh no.
Unfortunately. Yeah, it was a long story, sad story, but happy ending, huh? Okay.
Yeah, sad.
Yeah. Any other painting here? I think yeah, if you open your speaker
Oh,
and
Adrian
speak,
has one.
your painting, your video may pop up because I may not. Okay, I see Andrea in New Zealand, right? Andrea, thank you. Yeah, I think your painting getting much better with each lesson recently. It's more wholeness. It was flattered. How do you say? Flattered. What do you say? Fragmental before, but now your whole painting much more coherent. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Good job. Oh, that's a wonderful one. Oh, I like that. I like the squarish form of the bird. Very powerful. Love it. Post
That's a
it to the
beautiful
class.
one.
Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing this. Very good. Very good. Very good. 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Andrea. Yeah, if you go to the website, for those of you who haven't seen her recent work, I give her several 5 stars for the Huang Binghong landscape and 700 tadpoles, right? The little frog. Yeah, that's wonderful. I think everybody did the good work on the 700 painting, so I have confidence in the future when we come to study him. He will do very nice job. Yeah, he used the unsized paper like we use today. Anyway, any other questions? No? Okay, I'm going to stop this time and just happy painting, keep it safe and happy. Until next time, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Henry. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you
New
for
Zealand, you are very early, right?
What time is it in New Zealand?
5 a.m.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, I have to